Hi there, thanks for joining me. So today I'd like to do a pickups and birthday loot video. I had a birthday about a month ago, and I definitely got some really generous gifts, and I've been trying to pick up some shoot 'em up games, especially ones that I've missed over the past couple of years. I did cool off on just game collecting in general, but in particular in importing games because with the COVID-19 pandemic, I know some mail services to and from Japan had been stopped, and it's just something that was not a high priority for me. At this point, though, I am getting back into PlayStation 4 collecting, as you've seen, and so I'd like to make sure to get some of the shoot 'em up games that maybe I am going to not have a chance to if I don't jump on them right now, right? So let's take a look and see what I've gotten. First we have Fantastic Night Dreams Cotton Reboot. This is a series that I'm familiar with, but I don't know that I've played any games in the series. I believe that it is an arcade game series, but this port in particular includes the Sharp 68,000 version of this game. Apparently that is a well-liked and popular version of the game, and it also includes a new kind of arranged reboot version of that original X68000 version. That's the version that I've played the most. I believe it does actually have kind of a different scoring mechanic to it that is a little bit unique. I am not that familiar with playing shoot 'em ups for score, so this was a bit of a novelty for me. I did go ahead and look up how the scoring works. I did practice at it a little bit, and I was pleased with myself, I guess, that I was able to break into the top 400 ranking for just like the normal mode in that game. So that was pretty cool. I got onto the leaderboard in that, and a position that I was like, okay, like that's I'm not number one, but like for me, I was like that's fairly impressive. So I would like to play some more of this, possibly practice some more on it, but I've definitely gotten my money's worth out of it, and I do have a generally positive impression, at least of this reboot. I have not played the X68000 version a lot, but I really wanted to get into the Cotton series because I believe it's been its 30th anniversary, and there are a bunch of Cotton games for the PlayStation 4, as we'll see here. I also picked up this Saturn Tribute Collection. It has 3 Saturn games on it: Cotton 2, Cotton Boomerang, and Guardian Force. I have played each of them a little bit. I don't know that I've beaten any of them. The Cotton 2 has a bit of a different mechanic where I believe you can grab enemies and then throw them back at other enemies. That's a pretty interesting mechanic. I believe it does work into the scoring, and I have not practiced with that or gotten very good with it. Cotton Boomerang, I believe, is just another version of Cotton 2 that downplays that mechanic a little bit, or at least makes it like so you can play it a little bit more traditionally in the way that the Cotton series has been played. I thought that I might like that a little bit better, but the difficulty is actually quite high on Cotton Boomerang. So again, probably some practice is in order. Haven't really dug into these a lot. I did try Guardian Force, but I barely even remember anything about it at this point, so I do need to play this collection a little bit more. But I really wanted to get this and see kind of what the Cotton series is like, especially with the Saturn being so collectible now. This, I think, is a really great way to, again, nag yourself a shoot 'em up collection on the cheap here for the PlayStation 4. You guys want to keep an eye out for this type of collection. Next up, we have Gran Turismo 7. This was a gift from my dad. He was very nice this year, asked me, hey, is there anything you'd like for your birthday? And I was like, I would definitely be interested in Gran Turismo 7. It had just come out, and he in particular is a bit of a motorsport fan, so I thought it would be kind of cool to receive this from him. We did get a chance on my birthday to sit down for a couple of hours and check it out. He's not much of a game player, so I did not expect him to really play it, but I figured he might, just enjoy the kind of the motorsport aspect of it, the cars and things like that, so we got to check that out a little bit. That was cool. I haven't really played it since then, but from what I read and see, it seems like it includes some of the kind of modes and licensing and things like that from the older games, especially the first game I played a whole lot of, so I'm hoping to have a little bit of a nostalgia feeling from that. And, you know, it just seems like a cool new, like, simulation racer, and I've enjoyed the Gran Turismo series throughout the years. I played a lot of 3 and things like that, so I'm looking forward to playing more of that. Next up is my first limited run pickup. I have had a generally kind of negative and resentful impression of these limited physical release companies that seem to have popped up in the past handful of years, stuff like Limited Run and Strictly Limited Games and whatever else there is out there. You know, my impression of them was that you had to, like, log on to their website at a certain time and click the button and be one of the very first people to get it before the game sells out in 5 minutes, and that's just extremely unappealing to me. So this I picked up on the aftermarket. I got this on eBay. It was not at an inflated price, so I thought that I was, you know, being given a fair deal on this. And this seems like a super cool shoot 'em up. Battle Godega. This is ported by M2. It is a arcade shoot 'em up, and I like that it has a lot of different planes. You can pick from different planes with different shot styles and things like that at the beginning. That's a mechanic that I like quite a bit, and the gameplay seems super fun. I definitely tried this out. It is hard, so I'm going to need to practice at it, but I have a feeling this is going to be one of those, you know, shoot 'em ups that I enjoy. We'll see as I play it some more. Another limited run release. This was actually a previous release to Battle Godega. This was limited run 217. Battle Godega was 263. But suffice to say, I definitely wanted to pick this up as well. This looks really interesting and fun. This is a parody style shoot 'em up, kind of a cute 'em up. This reminds me a lot of Gunbird 2, which is one of my favorite shoot 'em ups, not just in presentation, but also I read that it has a bomb mechanic that is very similar to Gunbird, and I really enjoy that bomb mechanic in that, so I think I will really enjoy the gameplay in this. I forget who the publisher is for this originally, and I believe this also was a Sega Saturn game, so we're really getting here the opportunity at the sort of decades anniversaries of some of these games to pick them up again at like non-collectors prices, which is really fun, and with new additions. This is the sorry, I didn't even say what this is. This is Game Tengoku Cruisin' Mix Special, also known as the Game Paradise Cruisin' Mix Special. So I forget the publisher of this, but several of their game franchises, right, have characters and even like things that show up in the background and stuff that are put together in a compilation, sort of a crossover in this game. So it looks really fun, and I'm really looking forward to checking it out. I just have not played this yet. Next up is Elden Ring. I was definitely falling for the hype for this game. It's hard to resist. People are absolutely going nuts about this. It's getting 10 out of 10s, and it's the greatest game ever, etc., etc. Now, I am not a Souls game fan, and I don't even know that they are a style of game that I even should be playing at this point, right? I feel like I'm just getting a little old for this kind of thing, and, you know, I've been having some anxiety issues and things like that, which don't really pair well with really frustrating games. But because of the open world, and it seems like it's maybe a little more Souls series noob friendly, right? I was wondering if maybe I could try this out and do okay with it. My buddy gifted this to me for my birthday, so thank you very much to him. I really appreciate it. I did confess to him at several times, well, at least twice. I was ready. I literally put this in a bag and was like, I'm gonna take this down to GameStop and trade it in. Screw this game. I don't care. Because it has a really steep learning curve. I think that if you go into this game without a tool set to really, you know, understand its gameplay with, and to tackle its challenges with, it is a bit unreasonably frustrating and obtuse and just all of the things that I pretty much thought that it would be. That said, I mean, it has a lot of good elements to it that I like in games, and, you know, I persevered at least enough to, I've beaten the first kind of main story boss, Margit the Fell Omen, and I've gotten to a point where I feel like I can at least navigate kind of the main aspects of combat and whatnot in this game. So I'm enjoying it, so to speak. I may have more things to say about this. Maybe I'll do a games I've been playing video and talk about this a little more at length, but suffice to say I am playing it, I do own it, and I am very thankful to my buddy for picking this up for me for my birthday. Thanks so much, man. Next up, the only Vita game of this pickups video, we have Dariusburst Chronicle Saviors. Now, this is something that I had intended to get when it first came out. I believe this was, I'm not even sure if this was like early COVID, it might have been previous to that, and I just didn't end up picking it up. I checked my shelf and I was almost surprised to see that it wasn't there. I don't know that I love the Darius series. I believe I do have one of the games on a compilation, but I really wanted to check this out at the very least. I ended up spending what feels to me to be a little bit of an inflated price. It seems to be about double what I would expect this to have retailed for, although I didn't actually check what it retailed for. Technically, this was a birthday gift. I did receive some money for my birthday from my stepdad, and I used it to buy a couple of these shoot 'em ups, right? I don't feel like I necessarily overpaid too much for this because it really did relieve some of that fear of missing out sense that I had. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking this out on my Vita. I also just haven't had an excuse to crack the Vita out recently, so I think it'll be really fun to be able to, play that. This is available on PlayStation 4, but I really wanted the Vita version. That was just what I had initially been intending to get, so it feels really good to have managed to pick this up. I don't feel like I missed out on it, and I have a short list of shoot 'em up games that have come out in the past few years. I'm hopeful that I will really be able to get all of them at reasonable prices. So thankfully I have been able to do something that I've also been trying to do for a number of years, which is to get my Dreamcade console arcade cabinet set up in my current living space. This is something that has been a long time coming. It's been in cold storage for about 3 years. In order to get it into its new space, I really had to rearrange some things, get some things in order, disassemble the whole arcade cabinet, take it into a second floor, reassemble it there, and just get everything set up again. But it's set up, it's working, and I'm super excited about that. It really feels like a piece of my soul has been restored, right? So we'll see. I may be so excited about that I may be making some more videos, like kind of from my Dreamcade, as I did years ago. But regardless, I wanted to pick up a few things related to it. For starters, my Xbox 360, which I do play shoot 'em ups on, I do have, I don't know, 3 or 4 of kind of like the major shoot 'em ups on that, from Cave, Mushihime-sama Futari, and things like that. I haven't been able to play those for a long time because I have not had a controller. I've wanted a wired controller, and it turns out that the Microsoft first-party controllers are really quite collectible and expensive at this point. There are knockoff third-party controllers, but I was really reluctant to go that route. And what I realized is that X-Arcade does sell adapters for the Xbox 360 for their arcade stick, and what could be more perfect way to kind of christen my Dreamcade in its new location than to get those adapters for the Xbox 360 and play some of those shoot 'em ups on it. So I went ahead and ordered the Xbox 360 adapters. Unfortunately, long story short, I have the latest model of Xbox 360. I think it's the Model E, something like that. But it seems like the X-Arcade adapters, for some reason, are just really finicky or hard to get working with that particular console. I tried to get them working, and I followed all their troubleshooting advice on their site and was not able to get it working. I'm in the process of trying to get a refund on those, which is a bit disappointing, but at the very least, it did prompt me to get one of these, actually 2 of these third-party cheap controllers. This really is $15, right? It's very, very affordable, and I was not expecting much from it, but I have played it on the console, and I can play that on my arcade. Just plug this into the console, run the video into the arcade. I can still stand there and play the game on this controller instead of my arcade stick, and it is quite fun. So I think that that's the solution I'm going to go to for with this. A little disappointing, not what I was, hoping for, but that is going to be a workable solution for me. So that in itself is nice. Another thing I got specifically for my arcade cabinet is this. This is again kind of a Chinese cheap video converter, and this is really fun because we're taking a really new video signal and converting it into a really old one. HDMI to S-video and AV. So, of course, the CRT TV in there takes S-video and AV, and what I'd like to be able to do is use my RetroPie installed Raspberry Pi with my X-Arcade stick and play really what I've wanted to play on my arcade cabinet are the Genesis and Super Nintendo games, really from that 16-bit era, and even some of those 8-bit games, maybe like Nintendo, NES and Sega Master System and PC Engine and all that kind of stuff. And I would be able to do that with this. So I did test out this video. It is working well. All I need to do is set up my Raspberry Pi with the X-Arcade, which I believe is not too difficult. So I'm looking forward very much to being able to play those games on my arcade cabinet. I think it's going to be really fun. So those are my pickups. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope that you will join me again for more pickups, video game related videos and all that stuff. But I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll catch you later. Take care.